Hello, and welcome back to Devlog. In this episode, we're going through a bunch of tickets to clean up the codebase, make some small improvements, and rehaul the entire database schema. Alright, first up, let's update our favicon. Right now is the default Versailles triangle, but we can swap that out for the Nobility Pay logo. It's as easy as deleting the old one, dragging the new one in, and hitting a refresh. And if we open up a new localhost tab, we can see it's shown there as well. Very cool, let's push these changes up. Boom, our first ticket is done, on to the next, allowing organizations to have an alternative logo for dark mode. You can see that the black Ralph Lauren logo is barely visible in dark mode. To fix this, let's change the organization schema to store two separate images, light and dark. We'll run this migration and then we can head over to Cloudinary, our file management service, and upload the lighter version of the logo. Then we just update the organization model to include the URLs of both of these images. Finally, depending on the theme, we set the source for the image in the header. And we're done. Looks much better with the white logo in dark mode, and we of course have the original black one in light mode. Very cool, let's push these changes up. Another ticket in the bag, let's move on to completely wiping out anything to do with admins from the codebase. The new plan is to create a separate app for admins, so we don't need any of this stuff anymore. Alright, let's set our user to be an admin so we can make sure the app did not break. And looks like we're good to go. As always, let's push up the changes and move on to the next ticket. A more functional ticket this time, we're going to add validation to the sign-in page. Currently, if authorization is not valid, nothing happens. So let's console log the error and see what we can do. Alright, not much information to go off of, unfortunately. So for now, we can just assume that if an error occurs, it's always an authorization error. So we can just create an error state and set it to true if there is a status error. As always, we head over to Flowbyte to yoink one of their alert components. If there is an error, then we of course display it. While we're here, let's make the background darker and the header a little thicker. Now if we log in with an invalid email and password, we get hit with the error message. Incorrect email or password, please try entering your information again or resetting your password. Which isn't supported yet, but you get the idea. And of course, if we correct our mistake, we can log in just as before. Another ticket done, one more to go before our database rehaul. In the last episode, we set up the pay statements table, but we didn't consider the empty state. If we get rid of all of the pay statements in the database and hit a refresh, everything breaks. Not to worry, a quick fix, we just have to make sure the page parameter is very robust for edge cases. Now if we try various absurd pages, we can see that it defaults back to 1. Very large numbers, letters, 0, negative numbers, and no page as well. Now that the error is fixed, let's create the empty state. We don't want to display the table at all, so we'll swap it out for a new component completely. We'll add a header and a placeholder for a graphic. I found a beautiful graphic by Satyam and we're allowed to use it with credit, so go check out his work on Figma, absolutely beautiful designs. This no events graphic is perfect, and here's what it looks like in our component. Next, we ask ChatGPT to write up some text for this component, and we give it plenty of context. And as always, it cooked. Here's the final product. It reads, "It looks like you don't have any pay statements at the moment. As soon as you receive your first payment, your pay statements will be displayed here for easy access and review. Stay tuned, your next payday is December 31st. We'll make sure your pay information is promptly updated and accessible right here. Having the date in there is a nice little touch if I do say so myself. Then we modify the graphic to look good in dark mode. I use the same colors we've been using throughout the app. And here's what it looks like. Pretty clean, pretty clean. It also works well on a mobile view. A triumphant push of the changes, and we're done. The final ticket has been completed, and now we need to take a look at the database schema. Looking ahead, I want to allow a user to be associated with multiple organizations. You have multiple jobs and they might all use the same system. Therefore, we need a middle model between the two called employee that stores employment relevant information about the user. The user model then just stores basic information about the person. And then I went through and updated the other models to use employee instead of user. And surprisingly, the app did not break. I made some changes here and there, and TypeScript despises me right now, but it works, It's surprising that it didn't completely break. What can I say? Robust engineering by Farzan. Alright, I cleaned everything up, so let's push up the changes. Now, the reason for this entire rehaul in the first place was because I wanted to display the user's job title on the dashboard. Here it is under the big header. Now, I'm not even sure if I love this change, but I'll give it a few days to marinate. And this sprint is officially done. We did a whole lot in 1 week, and I'm glad because we got these small changes out of the way. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing to keep up with the project and see where this all goes. Otherwise, have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.